What's going on, guys? We're here at the meet. This is episode number 8 of So You Want to Be a Powerlifter? The rules and how the meet runs. So, the first thing you're going to do when you get to powerlifting meet is you're going to have to weigh in. So, a couple of things you need to know by the time you weigh in. You need to know your opening attempts in kilograms. You need to know your rack or monolift heights, your safety heights, and you need to know, in the IPF at least, whether you want the racks in or out. For most of the adjustable bench squat combos, the racks are adjustable, so bigger guys can get their arms out here on the bar, and then everybody else can have their arms in here. Some equipped guys I know, like Adam Ramsey, likes to get his racks in if he can and goes in between them, because then when he gets under heavier weights, if there's any bow in the bar, it's already in it by the time you pick up, so there's less to adjust to with your walk up. So those things are going to be very, very important to already have in your head by the time you go to weigh in. So be ready to strip down, get on the scale, recite your numbers, and get out. Warm-up should be a nice, quick, efficient pace. So get those things written down on a piece of paper right in front of you. You'll go in, make sure you have your membership card, if necessary, ready. And I don't know, wear tearaways, man. Just whip it off, get on the scale, get out. Make weigh-ins fast. The next thing that's going to happen is what I like to call the lull. So after you weigh in, if you're in the IPF, you're going to have 2 hours or an hour and a half, depending on how long it takes you to weigh in or where you are in the lot number or whatever. So you're going to weigh in, and then you're going to have a period of time before it's time to start warming up. So this is a time where a lot of people experience a lot of nerves. So what I can recommend is just drink some water, listen to some music, try to get in your zone. If you absolutely cannot relax or take your mind off of lifting and that kind of stuff, just go do some general warm-ups. Go ride an exercise bike or walk on the treadmill, use the elliptical or something, walk around the track, walk around the building, pace a little bit, whatever you need to just do some general sort of warming up. Nothing too specific that far away from when you're going to be competing, but just go ahead and get some energy out a little bit. The next thing that's going to happen at the meet is you're going to get into your warm-ups. So I usually start athletes between 30 and 45 minutes before the beginning of their flight. Now you'll have a very specific and scheduled start time. Make sure you check what flight and what group you're going to be in. We're going to go over that in a little bit here. When we do the attempt selection video, we're going to talk a little bit more about specifically how to warm up. For now, suffice to say that we started about 30-45 minutes before the beginning of your lifting. You want to try to time your warm-ups close to what you're going to be weighting in competition. So if you have a huge flight and you're gonna go do your first squat, and then you're gonna have to wait 10 minutes before you do your second squat, best option or best idea is to try and time your warm-ups. So you're gonna do a squat, wait 10 minutes, do a squat, wait 10 minutes, do a squat. Then when you get into the flow of competition, you're not gonna be going from crammed, really quick warm-ups to sitting around with your thumb up your butt. This way you're prepared for what you're gonna be doing exactly on the platform. What you wanna do as well, and this is a little trick, little special trick for y'all, is it's not really that fancy, but just go through when you get your attempt cards, go through and sign your name on all of them and initial all of them. That way, if you have a coach or handler running your numbers, or if you're doing it yourself, all you have to do is fill in the number, hand it in. After each attempt in a powerlifting meet, you have 1 minute to get your next attempt into the scorekeeping table. If you miss the lift and you don't get your card in, you repeat that lift. If you got the lift and you don't get your card in, you go up 2.5 kilos. So you see, I could really throw a wrench in somebody's plans to hit a nice big PB, PR, whatever you want to call it. So make sure that you get that attempt card in within the 1 minute. You can use my sly little trick of writing on everything first to help speed that up. I also want to talk a little bit about the order of lifting, because that's something that can confuse people sometimes. So we have what are called flights and groups. Now we're gonna have, for this example, we're gonna have flight A, B, C, and D. We're gonna have group 1 and group 2. Group 1 is gonna consist of flight A and B. Group 2 is gonna consist of flight C and D. Now all of group 1 is going to go through all of their lifts before group 2 goes through all of their lifts. They're going to do that by alternating between A and B per lift. So what that looks like is it's going to look like flight A is going to squat, then flight B is going to squat. Then flight A is going to bench, then flight B is going to bench. Then flight A is going to deadlift, then flight B is going to deadlift. You see a trend here. Once they're done all their lifting, group 2 is going to come out and it's going to go CD, CD, CD. So another thing that's important to note is that throughout flight A, all squats will be performed lightest to heaviest. All benches will be performed lightest to heaviest, and all deadlifts will be performed lightest to heaviest. I'm being repetitive here, but I'm trying to get the point home that the first attempt will always go from lightest to heaviest, then the second attempt squats, then the third attempt squats. So depending on the order of things, depending on the weights people are putting in for their attempts, the lifters will be rearranged in the category. So you can't always depend on knowing, okay, I'm gonna go before John Smith, or I'm gonna go after Joe Buttface. So just so you know, make sure to check the lifting order every time for each attempt, right? So you're gonna look at it for your first attempt, you're gonna look at it for your seconds and thirds, because that order can change as people jostle for position, lightest to heaviest. Now, if for some reason you need to change your openers, if you're in the warm-up room and everything's going funky, if you're in the warm-up room and you hurt yourself or whatever, if for some reason you need to change your opener, that is a possible thing, that is a doable thing. You have one attempt change in your Temps cards, but that needs to happen 3 minutes prior to the start of your lifting group, or 3 lifters from the start of your lifting group. So if you're in flight A, you have 3 minutes to the start. If you're in flight B, you have 3 lifters to the start. So make sure that if you need to change your openers, that you're conscious of that. So the cool thing about the deadlifts is you can actually change your third deadlift attempt up to twice once you've already put it in for the first time. You'll have an attempt change card for your third deadlift, and you'll take that over to the score table to jostle around for position, whatever you might need to do. Now, the specifics of that are going to be that you can change the deadlift weight up or down, but it can't be lower than what's already on the bar, and you have to get it in before you're given the bar's loaded signal. That's it for the meet day proceedings. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you're going to go through that day. We'll get more into the specifics of attempt selection, mindset, all that kind of stuff in the future. So stay tuned, give us a like if you liked it, and we'll see you guys next time.